Another point, the fourth point I want to bring out here is your health is your most valuable asset. Believe me, your health is your most valuable asset. Sometimes, if you go to the hospital and you see people lying there, a lot of them have regrets. If only I took care of my health earlier on in life, I wouldn't be this way. Health is invaluable treasure God has given to us. Always appreciate it, always nurture it, always protect it. My son asked me one day, what does it mean to be mature? And I told him maturity is the ability to delay gratification. And I gave him an example. Maturity is having a restaurant, but you eat like a child. Because he asked me, why do I eat once a day? Why do I eat once a day? Why am I starving myself? And I said, I eat once a day, but I can take fruits. I can take fruit during the day. I can take light things during the day, but I just have one meal a day. And I said, well, that's maturity, because I know that I cannot be stocking myself with junk and with food, and I want to be agile at 90. I want to still be speaking, preaching, talking at 90, 95. I want to be able to preach even if God keeps me to 100, to be able to be talking to people, because this is my true calling. And I will be a fool to say that, oh, God has blessed me, and so I don't need to watch what I eat. I don't need to exercise, and I'm going to get to that age. No, God expects you to be responsible for the gift of life and the body that He has given you. Good health is often wasted on the young, really, before they have the chance to appreciate what is worth. Don't wait till when you're old for you to be able to appreciate, the good health. You know, the young people always take it for granted. They take it for granted because it's just there. I'm young, I'm strong. You know, they take it for granted that you will not always be strong, and that your body will give to you, to the extent to which you nurture it, and to the extent to which you take care of your body, it will respond with you and stay with you for a very, very long time. We don't have to worry. The young will say we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to really pay attention to it until we now have to. You don't have to wait until when you're sick or you need, and the doctor tells you watch your weight. Doctor tells you do exercise for the sake of heart disease, to avoid stroke and all those things, and cancer. Eat right. Make sure you eat vegetables and all. You don't have to wait until you have issues before you start doing that. Start doing that now. Exercise. And I'm not saying lift weights, do all those things. Some basic exercise. You can jog, you can walk. Make sure you do your 10,000 steps a day. Make sure you are active. Don't just sit in a couch and be like a couch potato and just be there. You know, you have to get up after 1 hour, do something. Make sure in the morning or in the evening you're going to walk. You know, I walked out in the morning. I didn't have much time. This evening, before I have dinner, I have to walk out. Or I have dinner, I walk out for another 30 minutes to 1 hour. Because I want to keep this body. I want to keep it working right into my 90s. So I cannot just say, it's not a problem now, this body, because I'm feeling okay now. It means that everything is going to always be okay. No, you need to watch what you do. You need to watch your health. Is a very valuable resource and treasure that God has given to us. Okay, the fifth point I want to bring out here is that you don't always get what you want in life. John Lennon, we all know the popular John Lennon. He says, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. What have I been saying in the past 2 weeks? Life happens is what happens when you're making other plans. What I'm saying is that think of the now. You're thinking about the future. The future is built by the things that you do now. And you know what? You don't always get what you want. So you have to make plans on time. You know, that's what John Lennon said. But let us see, no matter how careful you plan and how hard you work, sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them to. And it's okay. It's okay. Do you know failure at times can be a success? Do you know that disappointment can be a success in disguise? It's God that is using that to point you in the right direction. When you fail, the lesson you get out of failure is that this is not right. So you need to do what is right. You need to go the other way. So when you're falling ill all the time, they tell you it's malaria parasite, then nobody needs to tell you that, hey, you need to maybe use insecticides in your house, you need to do some certain things. You know, we do not sit down breathing and say, oh, why is my own like this? Why am I like this? Maybe somebody is doing me. Maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it's voodoo. Maybe it's witchcraft. The Pope will be at it again. See, bad things happen to good people. Disappointments and failure happen to good people. It's just a way of life. It's just what happens to all of us. It just happens to all of us. And so we don't need to beat ourselves up too much. We have all these expectations, predetermined visions of ourselves, of what is the ideal life that we want. But all too often is not the reality of life that we end up with. Let me give you an example. In my own vision, I thought by 25, I was telling my friends in secondary school, I would be a billionaire by 25. Well, it didn't work out that way. I was saying that by 25, 26, I'm married, I have kids, all my kids before 30, so that I can face my life and my business. I had a lot of things I wanted to do, a lot of things I wanted to do at 20, 25. But did it happen? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And if those things don't happen to you, doesn't mean that your life is wasted. Doesn't mean that you begin to think negative thoughts about yourself and begin to say, things are not working for me, I don't really know what is happening. No. Sometimes our dreams fail, and sometimes we just change our minds in mid-course. Yeah? I just said it. I said what you're thinking between 25 and 35 is not what you're thinking between 35 and 45. And definitely not what you're thinking between 45 and 65. You have your own expectations, your own dreams are totally different. Sometimes it's you. Why are you holding on to something now as if, oh, this is your life, this is your life? No. In the next 2 years, you might detest that thing that you're holding on to right now. You might change your mind. It's part of growing up. You change your mind mid-course and say, no, I don't think I want to do this. Give yourself chance and opportunity. Give yourself some room, let life dictate some things. Life always dictates some things and gives you direction through failure. Unfortunately, through failure, disappointment, heartbreak, and all those things. Life will tell you, oh, you didn't do it well, so you have to look for a way. And at that point in time, instead of you grieving, maybe you should look for a mentor, look for someone that's gone through it, that can mentor you and tell you one or two things that you need to know. Okay, so sometimes we have to fail to make the right course, and sometimes we have to try new things, and so that we can have new direction. So allow life, look at life, be a player. It's like a game of chess. You are playing with Mother Nature. You are playing with life. Life will show you its own game, and you also play your own game. And after a while, you realize that you are getting the hang of this thing that is called life. And those are the people that come out on top, that see issues and challenges as hurdles on the way, and they find way to scale those hurdles. And as you scale those hurdles, you scale in life. Okay, the 6th point I want to bring out to you is that it's not all about you. This life is not all about you. You are not the epicenter of the universe. It's not about you. You know, sometimes I'm not saying you shouldn't think about yourself, but you just need to realize that it's not about you. Selfish people are not. They're not fun to be around. You know, they think about themselves all the time. I have a friend. Every time I want to go and see him is when I want. I don't go and see him when I have things to do. I don't go and see him when I'm busy. I see him only when I want to laugh. I see him when I just want to relax and I need a company, because when you go to him, he's telling you about all his achievements. Yes, he told you the last time he came. He's telling you, showing you things. It's all about him, talking about himself, talking about how God has blessed him, how God is doing it. He will not even allow you to say a word. He just wants to tell you, you know, and it's difficult to stay with that kind of person. Realize it's not all about you. It's very difficult to view the world from a perspective that is outside of your own, since we already always focus about what is happening inside our lives. But what do you have to do? But you need to realize that you also need to pay attention to what is happening around you, to what is happening in the life of your spouse. Your spouse cannot be moody for days you don't say anything, because you ask them the first time what's happening and they say nothing, and I say, oh, she said nothing, or he said nothing, and you move on. Your kids can be moody, out of sort, and you don't want to find out what is really happening in their life. The same thing with your staff or your colleagues. Sometimes you need to pause and try to find out what is really happening in the life of people, and that's where empathy comes in. And empathy is what helps you to become a better person. It's what helps you to be in the life of people, you know, and also for people to be in your life. Nobody cares for who don't care for them. So when people know that you care for them, they will follow you. Do you know that most of the time followers follow people that they sense that care for them, that if they are in trouble, those people will come for them, and they will care for you back. Realize it's not about you. Think about yourself. Have your goals and aspirations, but please make sure that in achieving what you are achieving, the family is not suffering, your spouse is not suffering, people are not complaining, that you're not a slave driver to your staff and to people around you. You need to also consider, I want to achieve this, but I don't want to be the only one standing at the end of the line and jubilating, and every other person have dropped by the wayside, and wow, just like successful your spouse and your kids have gone, but you made it, but now you are all by yourself and you're alone. That doesn't have to be your life. That doesn't have to be your life. So stop and make sure that no matter what you do, have those projections, make those projections, work hard towards achieving it, but make sure that you take time to look around, people that are around you, and to see what is happening in their life. See as much as possible, you know, because life is about relationships. The more successful relationships we have, the more successful we are in life. So you need to be conscious about building long-lasting, valuable relationships. And for you to build relationships, you have to pause to know what is happening in other people's lives. Because if you don't, you're not building relationships. And when you meet those people, they're like strangers to you because you don't have that relationship. Okay, another point I want to bring out here is there is no shame in not knowing. Let me talk to CEOs and men. There's no shame in not knowing. Sometimes men, you see a man, I always watch movies where a man and his wife is traveling and the wife is asking him, are we lost? And he say, no, we're not lost. But your guy, you are lost. Instead of you to admit, you know, because feel I'm a man, I should know, you're a man, you know, and sometimes that ego comes. There's nothing wrong in saying, I don't know. No one has it all figured out. Nobody has all the answers. There is no shame in saying I don't know. Pretending to be perfect doesn't make you perfect. Pretending to be perfect doesn't make you perfect. In fact, it makes you become a manufacturer of perfection. It makes you become a pretender. You are always on the edge, trying to be what you're not. There's nothing wrong in saying I don't know. People have this idea that there's some form of a stigma or shame in admitting limitations and uncertainty, but that's not true. What you don't know, but what you know, make sure that thing that you know, you really know it, so that you can stick to your area of strength. I always talk about SWOT analysis. Do your strength and your weakness. Your weakness, in your area of your weakness, you can say I don't know, but your area of strength, kill it there. Your area of strength, let people know that this is your area of strength. We all make mistakes and mess up occasionally. We learn as we go, and that's life. We can't change it. Besides, let me tell you, nobody wants to hang around with somebody that knows it all. Just think back. Are you not irritated by colleagues, friends, relations that always know it all? You talk about mathematics, they know it. Geography, they know it. Politics, they know it. Everything, they know it. And they will tell you, hold on, I'm trying to tell you something. I know this thing, I know. From where? You are not authority in it. Nobody likes to hang around, because after a while they become irritating. So a little vulnerability makes you human. It makes you human. And when people see you as being human, it means that they can relate with you. I always tell my friend many years ago, I said, look, if you want to survive in the Western world, you have to learn how to cry. Because when you cry, I remember Hillary Clinton's when she had her election or campaign, and people were like, she's too rigid, she doesn't even cry. And they say she doesn't even cry because they want to relate. Everybody wants to relate with a human being. Nobody wants someone that is stuck up, that feels as if they know it all. So when you say you don't know, and people will say you are human, they will come to your aid. If you see somebody crying, male or female, there's something in us as human beings. We want to go and hug them and just try to confront them, whether they are at fault or not, because it's just a human nature. So being vulnerable at times it's what can help you. It helps you to get along in life. So there's no shame in not knowing. Okay, now the point I want to bring in love. The next point I want to bring is, I've said it. I have a presentation on this. It's in my store. Love is not enough. And the point I want to bring out here is, love is more than a feeling. It's a choice. Love is more than a feeling. It's a choice. That burst of initial exhilaration, that pulse quickening love and passion, it doesn't last for long. It doesn't last for long. I always say love takes you, love will take you to the door, the marriage door, and leaves you there. Studying one day, the Holy Spirit dropped it in my spirit and said, look, that thing you call love is the reason why male will be attracted to female. If not, when male humans now come together, they will leave. But there has to be something that will make them want to start life together. Then when they decide to start life together, they move into another level of compatibility and the things that can help you sustain that marriage. Love doesn't sustain that marriage. It is the choices you make every day. Love is a choice, not a feeling. That feeling goes away. A few months down the line after your honeymoon, that feeling goes away. But now is a choice. The choice you make to be loyal, the choice you make to remain single, the choice you make each day to show that person that you care. That is what will sustain that marriage. It's not that feeling, that butterfly in your tummy. That butterfly finds its way after a while. Then you have to face that reality. Love is just not a feeling, really, guys. It is a choice. We have to choose to let annoyances pass, to forgive. If you want to be married, be in a relationship, you have to have that forgiveness. You have to have a bag of forgiveness and be showing that forgiveness ahead of time. If not, you will not be able to stay. You have to be kind. Even when you have to be kind, you have to respect, you have to support and be faithful. Infidelity is one of the biggest issues that we are having these days. But you have to be faithful. Faithfulness, commitment, dedication to that person, even when you don't feel like it. I would say love is forgiving someone when you don't feel like it. Love is being kind to someone when you don't feel like it. Love is being respecting someone even when you don't feel like it. Supporting someone even when you don't feel like it at that point in time. Because sometimes there are low moments in our life. We just don't want to have any. We don't want to be burdened with this thing called love, our relationship. We have things bugging us, but we have to choose. In spite of what you're going through, I still need to love, I still need to respect this person, I still need to support this person, even when you don't feel like it. Because there are times you don't feel like it. Those moments, you should not capitalize on those moments and say, okay, when people move based on those moments and you don't know it's a choice, it usually ends up in a very bad way. Okay, so know that you just have to wake up every morning and you have to make those decisions that will keep you in the marriage. If not, most of the time you see that that marriage, that relationship is great. Relationship takes work. If anybody tells you it's about lovey all the way, that person lied to you. It is hard work. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's incredibly hard. But you have to make that choice every day to continue to support, to love, and to be faithful and forgive when you're wrong, and also to, in spite of the annoyances, the irritation, you still choose to love and move on. Because it's not every time that is gloomy. There are beautiful times in marriage. There are wonderful times that you're happy you have a companion. But there are also times that you are not in that space, but you have to make a decision at those low moments. Don't make any decision, or don't begin to think that this thing is not going to work because you are in this low moment. Don't make a decision when you have not reached your destination yet. And people take a decision and say, look, this love is not sparking. It's, like you say here, it's not bringing fire. It's because it's a low moment. It's not because it's going to be like that. There are seasons. There are some low seasons, especially if you're married for 10, 15, 20 years. There are seasons where it looks as if, oh, this thing is not working, or there's no love in it. It's just a season. After a while, that season will pass and you enter another season of appreciating each other. Wine gets better with age, and love, or companionship and love, gets better also with age. But you must pass through that valley for you to get to the mountaintop. So I want you to know, if you are in a valley in your relationship, know that it's just a season. Just keep making the right decisions. Keep choosing to be with that person, and you're going to come out of it. So choose how you want to act, how you want to think, and how you want to speak. I'll say these 3 words. How you want to think in the relationship, how you want to act, and how you want to speak. Those things are very important in a relationship. So it is more than a feeling. Don't trust in feeling. I say to people, I say, look, you can see me from a distance and you say that I'm a snob. But I'm not a snob. You don't even know anything about me. That is a feeling that can be true, it can be false. Sometimes when you meet people, you say, oh, I had a wrong notion about you before. And so you cannot base your life on a feeling. The same thing, you can't base a long-term relationship on a feeling, which is that thing you feel and you call love. Love means this thing. Love is hard work. Love is to keep on making the right choices even when things are not going well. That is love. That is the true definition of love. And it will pass. You have been in the mountaintop honeymoon era. It comes down to the valley. It goes up again. It comes down. And the choices we make in our low moments determine the joy we are going to face up there. So this is some of the lessons that we need to imbibe. Okay, this is my last point. Like I said, 4 weeks. This is 4 weeks I'm dealing with life issues. This is the first week. And for the whole of June, we're talking about this life issues that I wish I knew when I was younger. But it's all good. Anytime you listen to it, apply it. And I believe that it will help you. My last point for the day is perspective is a beautiful thing. It can also be a harmful thing. When we are worried or upset, it's because we've lost perspective. So that perspective, your perception, it must be crystal clear. If not, you will be swinging from one side to the other. Everything that is happening in our lives seems so big, so important, so important. But in the grand picture, this single hiccup often means nothing. Somebody upsets you. We are fighting for position in the office. I will get it. We are fighting. I want to be GM. I want to be this. I'm better than you. You see, most of those things you are fighting right now, in the next 20, 30, 40 years, they don't mean anything again. They don't mean the fight we're having, the job we didn't get, the real or imagined slight, somebody slighted you, somebody did something to you, our unexpected need to shift the course, the things we wanted that we didn't get, all those things that worry you, in the next 10, 20 years, they will not be an issue. Have you not looked back and wondered, why was I killing myself? That thing was not even important. It's your perspective at that particular time. Let your perspective be close to your core values, your purpose in life. It will guide you. Because sometimes the way we run after this money to make this money, we become slaves to this money, because money is supposed to be a tool for you, working for you. Money is not supposed to be your master. And sometimes we have this perception that we want to be better than somebody else. We want to be better than our cousins. We want to be better than our neighbors. We want our children to be better. All those are perceptions that are really not necessary. A few years down the line, you'll be laughing at yourself or pinching yourself and say, what was I thinking? These things are not important. Except things are life-threatening, then let it go and move on. Some of the things that you feel, why did they talk to me like that? They don't value me, they don't do all those things. In the next few days, in few years, those things don't mean anything. A lot of men, their hearts were broken and they were devastated. A few years down the line, when they look at now the person they married and the person they were dying over, they'll be wondering, what was I even thinking? What was I thinking? And you actually mean that I was killing myself? I was stressing over that when God has this in store for me? Perspective change. Your perspective must be in check. If it's not life-threatening and it's not has to do with your core values and principles, then let it go. Because the perception you hold is your reality. And the way people perceive you is their reality about you. So you must be mindful of that you as a person, you are a brand. You as a person, you are a brand. You must be mindful of that and make sure that people get this, the perception they have about you is close to being the same kind of perception you want them to have about you. Perception is reality. especially in the corporate world, in the world, in the marketplace. Perception is reality, and nobody might give you the second chance for you to prove yourself. So it's important that you have your perspective should be something that is in line with your core values, and you don't need to compromise, and make sure that anything that will make you to derail from it, let it go. You should learn to let some things go. And competition leads to nowhere. We exert so much energy on competing with each other, chasing money. I want to live on this side of the city. I want to live on the best side, to the extent that it becomes detrimental to us. I'm not saying don't try for success, but I'm saying that some of those things you're holding dear to now won't mean anything in the next 10 years. Think through what you want to do. Seek advice all the time. Seek advice from people older than you that have passed through what you have, and they will always point you into the right direction.